What's up, everybody? Tonight we're going to take a look at a pretty interesting watch from a company called Oukitel. This is the Oukitel W1 smartwatch. It is available at gearbest.com right down here for just under $40. We'll take a look more at that in just a little bit. But first thing I want to mention is the fact that this does work with both Android and iOS. I happen to have it connected up to my iPhone 8 Plus at the moment. Works very well for just about everything that it's meant to do, which we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. So you can see I just accidentally touched the screen and it jumped into the heart rate monitor, but we'll go ahead and go back to the watch face here. So there is a little touch screen down here. That is the only part of the watch that's touch sensitive. So you can see when I touch the watch face, nothing happens. That's because there's just a touch sensitive pad right down here at the bottom of the watch. And on the back, you can see we have some pins here for charging it up. We have our heart rate monitor. And then we have some pleather bands. So these are definitely not real leather, but they're kind of made to look like leather. But these are 20mm standard bands, so you can easily replace these if you don't want to use the bands it comes with. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other things you get in the box. So this is the charging cord. And you can see on this end we have little magnets and then our pins. So that's going to connect up basically just with magnets. And you can see that if we put it this way, it won't work. And so we have to use it that way. So those magnets are on there pretty good, so it shouldn't have any issues with it slipping off at all while you're trying to charge it up overnight. But supposedly this thing has 150 days of standby, which if that's accurate, that's pretty incredible. Now that's just standby, that's not in actual use. I can say that in my first day of use, about 15% went through in one day. So if you kind of do the calculations, it looks like you could probably get a good 8 days of battery life out of this. Now that's just in the first day, so as we do more with it, actually day one probably I did more than average because I was testing it out a lot. But yeah, so battery life looks to be pretty good so far. So this is the instructions it comes with. They're available in Chinese and in English. And then you can see there's a little QR code that you're going to use to sync it up. But once you get that QR code, it has a QR code for both Android and iOS. And once you get the QR code, basically everything's going to be done and set up right on the phone. So we'll take a look at that in just a little bit. But first I want to show you what the watch is capable of. So this, of course, is our watch face. If you want to change the watch face, you can just hold down and change it, or you can change it within the app as well. This is our heart rate monitor. So to select anything, you're just going to long press. And now it's going to actually check our heart rate, but it notices that I'm not actually wearing it, so it's not going to do it. So that's what's going to keep telling me until I'm actually wearing it. But it does work quite well and does pick it up pretty fast. So let's go ahead and just test that out real quick here. Alright, so that took maybe about 5 to 10 seconds for it to pick up my heart rate, and that's definitely accurate. That's right about what I would be at this point in the day. Alright, so to get out of there, we're going to long press again on the button, and so then this is going to track our steps. We have our calorie tracker. We have our game. This is a game actually, so if I long press here, it's going to use a gyroscope. You can see there's a little plane on there, and the plane's going to try to avoid these red bricks, which obviously I didn't do a very good job of doing there, but it has a little gyroscope. So this is the only game, but you know, fun little time killer, I suppose, when you have nothing better to do. There we go. Alright, so that's the game. So I'm not really sure exactly why this one is the game, but that's the game. We have our sleep tracker, and this is our blood pressure tracker, or blood pressure monitor. So I'm going to go ahead and hold that down, and notice that if I don't push it quick enough, it will jump out of there. And so I'm going to hold that down, and it takes 30 seconds for it to actually track it. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward till the end of the 30 seconds, and you can see that it does actually track your blood pressure. Here we go. After 30 seconds, you can see 127/85. So that's the third time I've done it, and it's been pretty much the same every time. So I'm not sure if that's good or bad. You guys let me know. I don't really check my blood pressure real often. And then we have our camera shutter. So basically you're going to be able to use the watch to use it as a shutter. There's our messages, and then that's just a power off. So just to show you what the messages look like on here, I'm going to long press again, and you can see Jay Williams just posted on smartphone. That's a Google Plus thing. And he was posting about the Zenfone 5, pretty cool. And then it just goes through all of my notifications. So you can see it doesn't render them real well on the watch, but it is there, and whenever you get a notification, it will automatically pop up on the watch as well, so that's kind of cool. Can't do anything with them, basically you can just see them. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the app. We're not going to go through all of the stuff the app can do because we'll save that kind of for the full review. So let's jump in here. Oh yeah, and by the way, I should mention here, you can get it at GearBest. So right now it's available for $37.21, but if there's any cheaper coupon codes or something like that, I'll go ahead and leave that in the description down below. But let's go ahead and go into the app, which by the way, it does sync up with either Google Fit or the Apple Health app as well. So it's going to basically just transfer all of your steps over from the watch into the app itself. So first thing we look at is down here, it's going to go into the Hey Band app, of course. So it's going to look at our steps. Then the next one is our sleep. There's a one key examination, so basically rather than checking your blood pressure from the watch, you can just use the app, and it'll obviously use the watch's heart rate monitor to do those things. But you can see 4 things that it checks: heart rate monitor, blood oxygen, blood pressure, and fatigue. Now you can also set it so that it can track your heart rate throughout the day, so you don't have to actually do this. And it also will do your blood pressure as well. So it does your heart rate every 5 minutes, and it does blood pressure every hour, and that's set up through the app itself. And then we have activity tracker, which is kind of interesting because the activity tracker actually uses the phone, not the watch at all. There is no GPS or anything on the watch. And then we have just kind of a heart rate tracker, and again, I have it set so that it does it every 5 minutes. There really is no other setting though. You can't really change that at all. I did want to mention here that also on the step counter, this is where you're going to go into one of those activity trackers. So if you want to track running, riding, or walking, that's available, and then you're going to start it here. It's basically just going to pop up with a map. There we go. So now we're tracking our walking, and we're going to go ahead and get out of that because we're done. We're not actually going to track that. And a couple other things that it does here. So this is where we're going to adjust all of our settings. So that's where I did our blood pressure timing, our heart rate timing. We can change the display. So just like long pressing here on the watch face, you can change it here as well. Also to turn the wrist up, to turn the watch on, you can turn that right there. And that's pretty much it there. And then we can adjust some things for ourselves. Now this is where we're going to use it as a camera shutter, so notice that it brings up the camera there. If I long press on there, it will use the camera as, or use the watch as a shutter for the camera, which is kind of cool. And then we can change our imperial units and things like that on this one. So that's pretty much it. That's what you get with the Oukitel W1, a pretty interesting smartwatch. One, you know, maybe it's interesting. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Is this something you would consider picking up? It's pretty inexpensive. Again, you can get it for $30 to $40. Pretty much always under $40, but sometimes as low as I've seen it under $30 actually. So let me know what you guys think. Is this a watch that you would consider? Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.